Nice, GoPro on.
Yeah. Alright.
So one of the things with the crosswind, what would you do differently on a crosswind takeoff as opposed to a calm wind takeoff or the wind's right down the runway? What would you do differently?
I'm gonna turn my ailerons into the wind.
Sure, yep, that's right. So what I normally do is like aileron is into the wind, and when you're just starting to roll down the runway, they don't really have a lot of effectiveness because there's no air moving over them. And as you start to pick up speed, you kind of lessen the pressure a little bit, yep. And then when you rotate, then you're gonna, if the wind's from the right, as soon as you pick the nose wheel up, even in that second or two, as soon as you pick the nose wheel up, now the nose wheel steering's doing nothing because the wheel's off the ground. So all your yaw control is the rudder now. So as soon as you pick the nose wheel up, you're going to probably have to push a little right rudder in there, especially with a right crosswind. Okay. And then once we get airborne, then we'll establish a wind correction angle. So what we'll do is we'll actually turn the whole airplane into the wind so that we maintain a ground track that's over the center line of the runway, but we're not just stomping on the rudder and taking off and flying uncoordinated all the way out. So actually, once we get airborne, not like, get a couple feet, get a little bit off the ground before you just roll into a 30-degree bank, but like, not even that you would go that steep. I'm just saying, just get up off the ground and then establish yourself in a nice little wind correction angle there. And how much is dependent upon how much wind, but...
so is that going to be using ailerons and rudder?
Yep, you're actually going to set a new heading of the airplane. If you're heading 150 because of the runway heading, you may end up at a 155 heading, and you don't need to be looking down here, but yeah, you're actually going to turn the airplane on a new heading and roll it out on that heading so wings are level. Yep, so use rudder and ailerons to do that. Yeah, that's exactly right. So hopefully then you're still using right rudder to maintain the ball center because of the left turning tendencies of the airplane, so you're still going to use right rudder for that. But you're not going to be using just rudder to compensate for the wind. And if you find that you're still getting blown off course, turn the airplane a little bit more into the wind until you get the correction angle that is necessary to maintain the ground track that you want.
Okay. All right, ready?
Ready when you are.
Camden traffic, Cessna 3 Open Delta's back taxiing, rolling at 15. Camden. All right, ready?
Ready to are. And then once you can't see the runway anymore, you kind of just pick a spot off the horizon, not necessarily the direction that the nose is pointed, but the direction that you're going.
Okay.
And if you look back, you were pretty good, I'd say. You can really tell if you got a strong wind and you end up like, 100 feet over that way, it's like, well, try again next time, but
okay.
I don't think I could do any better than that. That looks pretty good.
All right.
Be just a little more right rudder. And the way you're telling this is, I think maybe we did this on the first flight, but it's been a little while, is if you know the airplane's coordinated, yeah, that's going to help you, but if you didn't have that, by looking out at the airplane and seeing the wings, the distance from the horizon to the bottom of the wing, so you can see that there's quite a bit of distance there,
yeah,
and not a lot of distance there. So see if you can get those even, and then look at what that looks like. And the glare shield's kind of falling apart in this airplane, but you can sometimes like level it out with that. And then if you find that your nose is drifting left or right, compensate with rudder. So wings should be level, airplane is on a constant heading. That feels pretty good, can't really complain too much about that. Maybe a little more right rudder, and it's constant, little bit of pressure. This one actually has rudder trim, but we'll leave it set to neutral.
Okay.
Because once you're in cruise, it'll be about where it needs to be.
Okay.
A little bit more right rudder there. It seems like we've drifted a little bit left of our original heading.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. I like, yeah. That feels. And we'll just level off at 3,000 feet. We'll just call that good.
Okay.
So set your pitch attitude first. Yep, set the pitch attitude first. Then let the airplane accelerate before you have to mess with power too much. You'll feel it pick up speed.
Yeah. Okay.
So attitude, power, trim. Pitch attitude first, then set your power. And then trim as necessary. Yep, looks good.
Do you call radio traffic when you're doing maneuvers?
You can if you want to. It's up to you. I don't really hear a whole lot of people out here.
Maybe on a busier day.
Yeah, maybe if you were up over the lake flying around or something like that. There's a lot of, especially during the busy season, from what I understand, there's a lot of, there's a helicopter up there that does tours and whatnot. So I don't know that I'd worry too much about it today. We'll just keep an eye out for it. In fact, what we could do in light of that, or in light of thinking about traffic, as you probably have done a lot with John already, is a clearing turn, right?
Yeah, 9 degrees left, 9 degrees right.
You can do that, or you can do a full 360-degree turnaround, whatever you want to do. And like, this is the examiner hat coming on, but it's like, you see a student who's doing that, like, you're convincing the check airman, whoever gives you your check ride, that you're capable of acting as pilot in command of the airplane. So more than just like, okay, I can fly this maneuver to the tolerances, but like, act as pilot in command. Hey, look, all right, if I'm your examiner and you're taking the check ride, you could say like, you know, hey, look, okay, the examiner might come out here and say, all right, slow flight. He won't tell you to do a steep turn probably. He'll say, or a clearing turn, but he could say, well, first of all, we're going to do a clearing turn. And if you wouldn't mind, you're an extra set of eyes in the airplane. Just, if you don't mind, just go ahead and keep an eye out. We'll both look for traffic because two sets of eyes are better than one. Like, you're enlisting what resources you have in the cockpit to help you do your job.
Sure, okay.
That just sort of like asserts your pilot in command authority. So, yeah, whatever, how you want to do it. 360 turn or 90 degrees each direction, I don't really care.
Okay.
A little too much right rudder there. Once you're establishing your bank angle, you shouldn't have to use any rudder. It's just that, or any more than you normally would. It's just the rolling in and rolling out. So once you've got your bank angle set where you want it, which this is fine, you can kind of reduce that or relax that rudder just a little bit.
Okay.
That Highway 5 over there, headed down to Lebanon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Clearing turns are complete. So do you want to turn back your regular heading?
You can turn back, which we'll just kind of, we'll kind of just stay in this area here. We don't need to get any much farther than that. We'll just kind of work around here. Sure. Yeah, it looks like maybe the visibility is a little hazier over that way, so this looks like a decent section of the sky.
Yeah.
So let's stick in this area and let's go ahead and do, well, we'll start with, we talked about steep turns, if that works. What's a good speed, or what speed do you normally use for steep turns? I really thought of it.
I think it was like 85 or 90.
Yeah, so, what we want to make sure to comply with is, it's called a maneuvering speed, or if you've talked about any of the V speeds, you had VA is maneuvering speed.
Correct.
Maximum, it's below that speed, you could do max control input in any direction, not damage the airplane. Above that, so 90 knots is a good speed, somewhere around that. So let's just kind of take our time. Do you have a power setting that you know is like going to get you in the ballpark, straight and level flight?
21, 2200.
Yeah, let's try it. Let's see. Yeah, so you got set 2200 there. So just give it a second. Now, the plane's never going to, when you add and subtract power, like it's not like, well, a car is not like this either, I guess, but like it takes a little bit to reach your equilibrium again. Like, you reduce power, it's going to slow down. Well, how much? Well, it doesn't slow down like that. It takes a second. same thing as it doesn't accelerate right away as soon as you hit the gas. You know, it takes a little bit. So 2200, you probably have to, as you reduce power to maintain altitude, you'll trim a little bit of nose up.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, let's see what that does. Well, we're about 85, so let's try about 2300 RPM.
Okay.
So this is a good number to commit to memory, so when you decide to do steep turns, the cool thing is no matter what speed you're at, you can go, boom, whatever that power setting is, 2300, 2400, I don't know what it is, but we'll figure that out.
Okay.
You can just set it, and you know if you give it time, it might take you 20 seconds, 30 seconds, but you set that power, and you hold a level pitch attitude, it will bring in that speed every time.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's 85, seems to be going there pretty good, somewhere 85 to 90. Now, steep turns are 45 degrees of bank for practical test standards. I don't know, have you been going that steep with John?
Yes.
Okay. So I won't say any more. I'll tell you what, you just, whenever you're ready, whichever direction you want to do, we'll do one each direction.
Okay.
And then maybe I'll have a couple comments or something like that. We'll see how they go. So whenever you're ready, I'll leave it up to you.
Okay.
Camden is traffic, clearance 3246 Bravo, 11 mile final GPS 15, full stop, Camden.
That was the best one I've ever done.
I was going to say, I can't say a whole lot about that. I don't think I could even do one that good right now. You don't think you moved 10 feet up or down. Speed was dead nuts on, bank angle was there all the time. I got nothing.
Okay.
Hard to teach that. About 60 degrees of bank there.